I wouldn't say you even have to do that. My day looks like 4 to 6 practice over there. I'd practice from 4 to 6 with the high school team, and then I'd pitch from 6 to 7:30, and then I'd hit from 7:30 to like 8:15, and then I was also a first baseman, so 8:15 to like 9ish. That's usually what my day looked like, and that's like a little crazy. That's a little out there. I'm not gonna lie. You don't need to do all that, but you don't have to pitch for an hour and a half either. I just, in my brain, I felt like the more I pitch, the better, but that's not always the case. Like, I've created injuries by doing that. Just go in with intent with your practice, like know what you want to get done. If you're feeling good, get the reps in. If you feel bad, you're like, this doesn't get any better, know when to shut it down. So that's why sometimes I hesitate to say the hours, because I don't want y'all to think that you need to go pitch for 5 hours, so don't do that. But it takes a lot. And I say this to myself in the mirror all the time. Whatever you think you're doing, probably not enough to reach the goal that you want. So I told you I want to play in the Olympics, right? I said it to the campers yesterday. I can be doing more, right? Even if it's like rest days, especially not pitchers. If you're taking the day off, take the day off. Sleep, eat food, you gotta fuel your body, get enough sleep, right? So just have intent even with your off days too. Wish I would have done that when I was younger. Instead of just like taking an off day but still running around, being on my feet all day. Like, I know sometimes, and even your parents too, like, you are 13, but you're growing and your body's changing so much, and you're just putting a lot of pressure playing softball on your body, so you still gotta take care of them. Stretch. And you're like, Montana, all right, you're saying all these things we don't want to do, go ahead and leave. But I'm telling, I wish I would have stretched more. Like hip mobility stuff, if you could look those up on YouTube, especially 13, 14, 15, I wish I would have. It would have helped me out a lot sooner. But I'm trying to think. I'll be around.
The days they don't feel like working, let's just say, how do you recommend them getting in the right mindset to go put in that work, that practice, whatever? Like, what did you do to push yourself when you did?
I would say personally, I feel like you can have different motivation for different things. Like mine would change every day. Like I would just turn on college softball. Like if it was during the summer, in the spring, it was so easy for me to stay motivated because I just could see it. So turn on TV. If it's not college football season, turn on a YouTube video. And then just know that people are only there because they practiced and because they worked harder than everybody else. But on the other side of that, perspective, now it's like, how lucky am I that I get to go play and not that I have to go play? Like, because I've been injured a few times, and in those times where it's like, man, I would give anything to go practice for 3 hours. I'd give anything to go run around laps, run miles, or not so much fun stuff that when you're actually healthy, it feels like it's the worst thing in the world. But just having the perspective is like, man, I wish I was able to do that. So you guys are all healthy, right? You're here, you can tie your own shoes. So I think sometimes, like, what's our goal? How do I accomplish it? And like, man, thank God that I'm able to do it. And I've got people to help me do it. Because honestly, there's a lot of people, and I've met a lot of people that don't have the help. And it's really hard by yourself when you're 13, right? Think about it. If you didn't have anybody taking you anywhere, you can't drive. And nobody's catching you, right? Unless you're throwing to a net, which is hard, right? And sometimes a lot of coaches also, like, they help you out a lot more than what you know, okay? It's important to have coaches that care about you, and you do, so make sure that you're thankful for that. But the last thing I would say about that was just being like asked and be able to receive criticism. It's hard, but most of the time that comes from love, especially from your coaches or your parents. So if they're like, hey kid, come on, let's go practice, and you're like, I just don't feel like it. Different than don't feel good, like, hey, I'm throwing up, right? Or like something's actually hurt. But being like tired and not feeling like it. There's a lot of times in the 7th inning I'm tired and I don't feel like it, but I've had to get over it and kind of push that down for an inning, right? Trust me, I've always regretted not going. I've never regretted going to practice. So I like to tell myself different, depending on the day, I like to pick different things because I think it changes all the time. But yeah, especially my infielders. I don't know if you've seen her. Your parents probably did. She was doing gate. She blends in. She stole a lot of my camo this morning when we left the house. But she used to like play wall ball like by herself. Like, and when I tell you, the best fielder I've ever seen in my whole life. And I'm not just saying that because she's here. Like, that's why I asked her to start doing the pants. She's an awesome person. But she, like, you would think people take ground balls, and it's just like, no. This girl's like working on everything. She carries her glove like it's a baby. She's just obsessed with that. I think being obsessed with what you want to be good at to the point where you can have a balance, but then also like, hey, I'm an infielder, I'm an outfielder, I'm proud of it, and like treat it just like pitchers should be treating pitching. So that way, at the end of the day, when you guys go your separate ways, you come together, and now you're just going to beat everybody because you guys took care of business by yourself. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's what I'd say. Just find little things that make it fun. Compete at practice. Yeah.
That's a good one.
I could talk actually all day. So I'm going to